Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you're safe, you are well, and you are with someone you care about who also cares for you, especially at this scary point in history. I asked Erin to make a thumbnail for today's video saying, where is the cold? Because we haven't really had much in the way of hard frosts here at the house. I think maybe we've had one or two since the start of winter. And while it is only halfway through January, I have something troubling to share with you. Check this out. We have daffodils poking up all the way along here. We have daffodils poking up all the way over there by the road. And things are growing and waking up as if it were much later in the year. And that is really, really worrying for me, because right now we are starting to see, obviously the days are getting longer. This is supposedly the coldest part of the year, and we might get a couple of frosts this week, but we haven't had any good hard frosts. And plants that should still be sleeping are coming up and are waking up. And I'm worried that one of two things will happen. Either one, we won't have a proper winter, which might affect the cycles and also impact the number of pests and problems we have next year. Second, maybe we will get a sudden cold snap right at the end of the winter, which would detrimentally affect some of the plants that have woken up and started growing early. And if you look here, the garlic is still slumbering pretty much, but we should start to see garlic poking through fairly soon. But the strawberries, I know I have not done any kind of work to tidy it, but I don't know if you can see down there, we actually have flowers. There are flowers on our strawberries. Now, I don't mind. I like strawberries. I'm not going to mind having some early season strawberries. But at the same point, those plants need to go through a period of rest before they hit the new growing season. And if they don't, that could cause problems further down the line. I mean, another example here, I know I've shown these before. My fava beans are growing again. This is not normal. And we entered into winter with the expectation that this year we would have maybe a fair bit of snow towards this time of the year, and we haven't. I know Mount Hood has had a decent amount of snow, but we've had a lot of moisture, a lot of rain, but we haven't had a huge amount of cold. And I say that as it's very foggy. We're up in the clouds today. The fog's come down in the last hour or so, and it is blinking cold right about now. But it is also a definite cause for concern. The grass, again, is thinking about growing. We're seeing some kind of spring shoots coming through, and it's just too early. And if it happens, if that cycle gets started too soon, we could definitely see problems down the line. Now, I know some of you are going to have some curiousness about the chicken feeder, the old grandpa's chicken feeder. Unfortunately, they're fighting over it right now. They haven't really understood how it works. Despite me going through the process of keeping it open and teaching them how it works, they still haven't really fully understood you have to stand on it to open it up. And so I've had to resort to propping it open and going in there and showing them. Going to check on their water. They've got another day or so of water in there. But we haven't been able to get to a point where they have felt fully confident, and I've seen them go and check in on the feeder. Now, you might want to know, okay, how do you know if they've been using the feeder or not? And you're like, aha, I have security cameras in the coop. So I have 2 in here, one facing into the nest, into the egg laying nesting area, and one that faces onto the roost bars. And then I have another one right there in the far corner, and that one focuses down on the feeder. So I've been keeping an eye on who's getting food and when and how. There's been a little bit of bullying going on, and I've been keeping my eye on that as well. But what I'm not seeing yet is there's been a couple of occasions where I've seen a hen go and put their foot on the feeder and realise that there was food inside, but they've not learned it by route yet. Now, they are old birds. I think the youngest bird in there is 5. The oldest bird is nearly 7. So Charlie, leave her alone. Charlie's being very mean right now. He's having a go at some of the other hens. Cockerels engage in hen pecking too. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on it, and I think ultimately they're going to be able to use it and they'll figure out how to do it. But right now it's very much a nope, nope. So if you thought that they would be all kind of happy and using it by now, I'm afraid you are sorely mistaken. But if you thought they were still going to have problems this late, then I guess you were right. Let's wander through and I'll show you some of the other things that's going on in the garden right now, because aside from my irises popping up, we've also had some volunteer potatoes come up. And while the potatoes did get a slight frosting and they've gone back, you can again see here, this is not normal to have potatoes in January. And if I put my finger down, I don't know if you can see there, those are actual potatoes growing in the middle of winter in my pot, and that's not okay. You know, that is very, very troubling indeed. Again, we're going to soon start seeing buds appearing on trees, and that could impact our cherries and also our apples. So you can see right here, the cherries are thinking about budding up. And if we have that happen, and then there is a frost, or we get a snowstorm or anything like that, that's going to really impact our yield for this year. And with things in the world being a little bit terrible, we might not. So that's an apple tree there. This is my cherry tree. Sorry, I got it the wrong way around. These are cherries, but you can see they've started to bud up. And with the cherry trees budding up like that, they're not going to be that far away from starting to throw leaves out and flowers. And all it would take would be one hard frost or one really bad snowstorm, and we're not getting any cherries this year. Same for the apples, you know. All it takes is one bad experience for this apple tree, and then that apple tree is going to suffer for the rest of the year. So I'd love to know, not everywhere in the Northern Hemisphere has had a mild winter. My mum has had some really terrible, like double-digit minus temperatures in the UK, and I know some of you have had the same thing. So let me know, have you had a mild or a warm winter? Are your bulbs poking out the ground yet? Do you have shoots? Or are you still dealing with snow on the ground? Let me know in the down below. Also, tell me what your favourite beverage is at this time of year to keep warm. If it is, in fact, cold outside, how do you keep warm after doing your gardening? Let me know in the down below. And please consider supporting us through Patreon. You can support us in $1.50 a month on Patreon. Become one of the amazing people scrolling by your screen right now. They really make the world so much easier, so much better to exist in, because it means that we can continue doing what we enjoy doing. So I will see you next week, and until next time, keep evolving.